Okay, I'm live. Hello, guys. How's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I am 12 hours late, and so probably nobody is here. Oh, two people. That's nice. How are you guys? It is July 10th, Monday morning. Just turned Monday here. It's midnight. I woke up late, so that's why I couldn't do it in the daytime. And I was like, should I do it now? I tweeted, and some of you got back to me saying that it's late there. So, yeah. Nate made it this time. Hey, how are you doing? Yoko is the best. Yes, I am. After doing this, I just remembered Trump. I saw the footage of Trump visiting some, I don't know, like a small maybe like pizza place or burger place or something like that. It's good that he is taking a tour of places like that. I think it's very effective for his campaign because that's the kind of people that support him, in his campaign is the Trump train, And I remember from like 2016 campaign that like the first one, that what he needed to do is to talk to like the ordinary Americans, in entire America, and I think that that's what he's up to. I was watching. Oh yeah, I should have put Trump in the title because obviously I'm talking about him. But こんにちは、よこさん。こんにちは。It's actually こんばんは。こんばんは。Yes, thanks for coming. ありがとうございます。来てくれて。So Trump. Where was I going? Trump. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yes, Trump is. It's good. Yes, I was watching Fox News a little bit before I came here. And there were what were there like 4 or 5 millennial people that were talking about the reasons why they support Trump, or rather, like they were those who left the supporting the Democratic Party and now they support the Republican Party, and they were explaining why. And it was interesting. And one of the people that was commenting was very clever, that she suggested that people should keep away from identity politics, and that we should talk about the actual problems. There are problems like this and that, so we should talk about that instead of like the race and identity and stuff like that. So Threads is totally dumb. It will fail. I agree. Because like it's just a copy and paste of Twitter, right? Are people signing up? I follow some, just ordinary YouTubers, like big YouTubers, that I've followed for years, like since I don't know, like in the 2008 or so, one of them. I will not say who, but I saw her post on Instagram saying that she made a account on Threads, and she was explaining or showing how to sign up for Threads and how it's like on the platform. And I watched it out of curiosity. But yeah, there are people like her though that they're just brainwashed by the media, just like you can just easily picture, the ordinary Democrats or liberal people or just ordinary people, that are brainwashed by the media. And they believe that Twitter is bad, after Elon Musk took over. And there are many people like that. And I saw on the, was it? Oh yeah, I just looked it up earlier, and it was from yesterday though. But it said that already there are like 17 million people that have signed up after a day. And I'm like, wow, well, it's not as many as, I don't know, like maybe like I was expecting more, but considering the users, the number of users of Instagram, and so that was interesting. But isn't it like the EU doesn't allow the application yet, right? Due to the privacy info and so on, like it's not transparent. The data collecting and so forth. The data collecting is very, it's bad. I saw that picture, somebody posted on Twitter, explaining like all the informations that Zuckerberg is collecting, and I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Like I give so much information online, so I shouldn't care, but like I don't know, that's really bad. And somebody posted on Twitter, comparing, I retweeted this, but somebody posted a video of Zuckerberg, being questioned at the, I don't know where that is, but he was questioned like publicly, and the senate, I think it's a senator, asking him questions like, oh, who did you talk to in the text, or who did you call the last, and so on. And he was like, would you and so the senator, I think, I believe is a senator, was like, would you share with us? And Zuckerberg is like, no, like no. And he chuckles, and that's exactly the point. Like he doesn't even want to share his private information with the public, but his application collects data. So that's something to think about. Yeah, time difference. Yes. Hey, Yoko. Hey, thanks for coming. Um, the inflation is a big problem. Food prices are getting crazy. Yeah, especially in Japan, it's really tough. Like at least in other countries, the people are getting paid more than before, but not Japanese people. And our government is telling our companies to raise our salaries, but at the same time, companies cannot afford it, and that's why they can't give a raise, right? But we are forcingly doing that to damage the control. Control the damage. I mean, somehow. Swapped it somehow, but anyway, yeah, so we're in a bad cycle, but it's good for foreigners though today, that if you come visit Japan now, everything is cheap. So you can enjoy shopping. Oh, thunder, I hear thunder. Lots of rain in Japan right now. Also, international trade is an issue too. The computer chips shortage is still a problem in a car industry, and the results, there's still a shortage. It's making used car prices crazy too. Yeah, but at least I have a lot of I read a lot of I've been reading lots of newspaper. I mean, I was slacking, but now I read every day. I'm reading Yomiuri Shimbun nowadays. Never mind this this pen thing. I had to do it because I had a meeting and I had to make sure that I take notes. And I'm like, can this pen work? So I was like, "Brr." But anyway, it's talking about Japan, EU, microchip. Or is it microchip? What is it called? The computer chip. Like we're, with EU, we are cooperating, like strengthening our ties. So like when what is it called, like resources and so on are shortened, like when we have shortage, we can share information rapidly. So it's about the supply chain of microchips. So that's good. Like when it comes to what you call, like microchip or whatever you call it, the with EU, we are doing things better. And even it talks about when it comes to national security and defense system, we are planning to establish this dialogue with Japan, EU, like strategic dialogue. So that's good. That's something to do. It's a new thing, but we already have like a 2+2 meetings with the US and so on. But when it comes to EU, we are now considering, having this dialogue like about national security, and it includes cyber security and also information about the space, technology. Yes, 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 yes. So it's about like the supply chain, like strengthening our supply chain with the EU, and about a hegemonic China, and so on and so on. Oh, sorry. So that's good. Yes, love it or hate it, Twitter is not going anywhere. People love Twitter after all, I think. What's different, that what is difficult about social media is that it needs users, and you don't want only a portion of people, you need the entire public, right? And it just I think that it still will remain this way because like the right side tried it before, that we've had Parler, we've had social Truth Social with Trump, and get is it Getter is there, and they're good, from the right side, but it's not. It's great that it works like a circle, like it's important that we can share information, the information that we want to share without banning or restrictions and so on, and that's great. But when it comes to just, when it comes to the social media platform being just the platform, then we expect the same as the real world, that we expect that there are many many people, from all around the world, and it's not the same when it comes to, the political platform, because I know that the right side of people don't want to go on threads, right? And just like they don't want to go on TikTok. So it's interesting though that the left says that, oh, the world must be united and, well, we should love each other, and then they're happily dividing the public, right? By Zuckerberg, coming up with this application. Like he didn't even come up with the application; it's just copy and paste of Twitter, as I said in the beginning. Yeah. Is it frowned upon in Japan of Japanese people date a non-Japanese? Frown upon. Frown upon. Like frowning? しかめっ面されるのに、よく思われない。In Japan of Japanese people, I think so. Like, it's hard to say. It's like kind of cool, thought to be kind of cool, but at the same time, it's not very good. Because like Japan is a homogeneous country, and when it comes to foreigners, we call them foreigners instead of like people overseas and so on. There's this nuance, like there's this tone of that word, like foreigner, to Japanese people in Japanese language, right? And it's just that like foreign people are outsider no matter what. Like there are some exceptions though, like those who speak very fluent Japanese, and they if they think like Japanese people, then we recognize them as Japanese. But generally speaking, I think that it's Japanese people. Most Japanese people are not even international, so like they have this like a certain like stereotypical image of international relationships and so on, I think. I have a feeling Threads is going to go to the same way as Meta. Remember when Zuckerberg, when he announced the cyberspace, he made his avatar, and that was so awful. And we were like, what is this? I used to play the social game called Second Life. It's outdated, I know, but I really enjoyed, making my own avatar and, talking to people in the cyberspace. It was so 2008, but it was a thing back then. I really enjoyed that game. And, wow, Thunder. But it was his Zuckerberg's avatar was even worse than Second Life. So I was really surprised. Or even like the sim, the game sim is worse than that. So that was interesting. But when it comes to Facebook, and who uses Facebook now? I feel like like over 50 probably. Like, I have the problem of Facebook is that because it's the real name, and you know the way it's structured is different. It's coming from when we were like millennials were back in universities. So, like, how we feel about, or how we've felt about Facebook and how we've used it is different from other, like, anonymous. Do you hear that? The thunder. It's different, right? But super chat. Oh, thank you so much for super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have this for a while because I'm so happy to get this. Thank you so much for super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Facebook. So it's the connections that you have on Facebook are generally like real, more real than other social media platforms. So I think that people want to leave Facebook because it's outdated, and it's the algorithm sucks, because they restrict information sharing and so on. But at the same time, we can't really leave because we are all connected there. So I really hope that, I was hearing like Japanese people, like some Japanese people were coming up with new technology and new platform, but I don't know what happened to that. Man, the rain, man. Oh, it's like Pikachu. Do you hear the thunder? It's so crazy. Second Life, what is that? You don't know Second Life? Oh my gosh. Second Life is this cyberspace. And you create an avatar. It's basically like a chat. What's it called? A chat, VR chat, VR chat, but it's the former version. It's not a virtual reality, just a regular thing. Man, right above my head, there's on the ceiling. There's a window. It's so freaking loud. Please, I'm trying to live stream here. No more Sankei. I'd love to, but the delivery company, they don't want to deliver to us because we have some paying problems. Like, oh man, we were kind of late. Oh shoot, to pay, and the guy went all yakuza against us. Like, he was talking like, "Yeah, you wanna do this or what?" I have no idea what he was speaking about because he was all like, his tongue thing was so crazy, like yakuza. And but anyway, so we're like, whatever, and now we are reading Yomiuri. It's not the Sankei people though. It's just it's the delivery people from another company. because Sankei is actually it's very small, so they don't have their own system to deliver their newspaper, so they are relying on other like a local newspaper company. But anyway, that's the Q&A session. So please feel free to ask me questions. I'll try my best to answer. And super chat will be appreciated. Something is breaking. Oh my gosh. I really hope that I survived this. Can you hear the thunder and the rain? It's so crazy, man. So crazy. The weather has been crazy, as you are probably experiencing it too. Like Japan usually have 4 seasons, right? And we currently it's supposed to be rainy season, and it is raining, but it's different from like how it used to be before. It's like it's very intense rain, and it stays on the same place for a while. So then we have natural disasters, and so often on TV we see special programs talking about like the alerts and so on, and some news coverage about how there are flood, like some houses or towns are soaked into water. And so I'm pretty sure that tomorrow, I'm pretty sure that that's all we have on TV, because the rain is crazy. Oh man, I can't even hear my own voice. I'm sorry if I'm speaking too loud, or if the rain's too loud. Europe has better data protection laws than America. Oh, that's why, right? Facebook Meta has an image problem in America. It's viewed as a website for old people. Yes, right. If here too, in Japan too, for old people to get mad at other old people. Young Twitter users wanting to leave Twitter will find something else. In Japan, it's pretty much the same situation. Facebook is for older people, and young people now. Those who are like teenagers to those who are in the 30s. We usually use Instagram, but young people also use Twitter as well. It's a very trusted, and like I think that younger people like things very casual, and like no strings attached, like tweets. The concept of tweet is very like it's suited for younger people, and older people, they want to talk long, and also they want to explain everything, and they want to share everything, so everything is long, and also the connections are so wired with each other. So anyway, super chat, thank you so much. I can't say today, but keep fighting and rearm. Yes, rearm. I need to get muscles too. I lost my muscles because I lost a lot of weight over the past few months. But anyway, thank you so much. Yes, it's good though. Like Japan is getting better at our national security system, because the US allows us to. The US America finally learned that Japan is their ally. And also we have all this alliance or like a friendship with Indo-Pacific region, and also with Europe. And so things like we have the understandings of other countries, and we have the common threats such as Russia and China. So we are gradually organizing and establishing our systems to adjust to the current threats. And it's good when it comes to the current threats, such as like the whole free world countries are pouring our energy and money into Ukraine, right, to support Ukraine against Russia. And as a result of that, in Japan, there's going to be a liaison office of NATO, NATO, and we are happy about it. However, Macron from France, he somehow is trying to block the flow of establishing NATO office in Japan. Because remember, he visited China recently, and China treated him very, very well. And it's interesting that he's now going against the idea of, launching an office in Tokyo of NATO. Such a, is it, what's the word? Kowtowing, or how do you read that? Ko, kowtow? Kowtow in to China. So yeah, very, very silly. But when it comes to NATO or NATO, I don't know the pronunciation. あ、うん、今見よるよ。うん、わかってるよ。NATO, yeah. I my husband is even sleeping and he's checking the live stream. It's like, $10 twice, $10, $10. He's like that. So let me share the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your super chat. Thank you so much. Yoko, do you think Japan as a country will change when many of the older generation die off? Many leftists think Japan will become more liberal and progressive when that happens. Really? I expect the vice versa, like the total opposite. Like what's gonna happen is that right now the older people are very liberal because of the war. After the World War II, we were occupied, and during the occupation period, there were many policies and so on against Japan. So the system was changed, right? And then all the patriotic people were kicked off from that system. For example, like 20, is it 20,000? Wait, I can't do them. 1, 10, 100. No, 200,000 officials were purged and so on. And who survived in the system were liberals, like anti-Japan type of people. And then those people, of course, were in the media and education system and so forth, and also in a big company they became elites. So then the influence, they educated our people, right? But they are the core problem. And so when those anti-Japan people, when they die, the conservatives, and let's talk about conservatives in Japan. Conservatives or right wings are very strong and dominant on the internet. The leftists are trying hard online as well. They of course get together on Twitter and so on, and they do they try to fight the information war. But the reason why Abe administration was lasted so long was because of the support from the young generations. Because young generations, they don't have the bias. Even though the education is bad, the anti-Japan education eased as the time went by, right? Because that's what happens after war. Like, we realized what was happening, and we started to um, change our, or make our education back to normal. And it's still bad, but it's better than before. And it's, of course, thanks to Shinzo Abe. He works really hard on that, and it's better than before. And the younger generations, they don't have much bias compared to older generations, because the war had ended like long before them. And also, like, I think it's just a recent culture, that like in the past people were tied to each other, but today, like, people don't care about each other much, and they just go to the internet to collect information, so they can just see everything by their own, collect all all the information without bias. And there are lots of conservative uh, YouTube shows and so on, and so people can easily come on our side. And the left side, their rhetoric too doesn't work anymore, especially after seeing Ukraine, right? Like today, like especially after what happened in Ukraine, all the Russia's invasion into Ukraine, like people now see how like how important it is to protect our country, right? Like national security wise, like the left kept saying that, oh, like we should just wish for peace, right? And if we rearm ourselves, then we would go into war and stuff like that. The left would repeat stuff like that, but people can see what's happening. The Ukraine didn't have the nuclear weapons, but Russia does, and that's the fundamental foundation. And at the same time, like we are like all the countries are giving lots of aids to Ukraine, like the financially and also militarily, and we can see what's happening, and young people are seeing that. So, and when it comes to elections too, like Shinzo Abe actually um how do like pull down the age for voting. Now it used to be like over 20, those who are 20 years old or older, but now it's 18 or older, so like high school kids can vote too. So and that's because younger people can they vote conservative, so yes. Anyway, thank you. And an additional thing, thank you. Leftists tend to blame the older generation for everything wrong in a country. Not certain people, but an entire age demographic, which always risks me. That's interesting. I don't know about America, but as for Japan, leftists usually blame the young people, because there are people like myself, right? Like I'm not even young anymore, but like younger people like me. I talk about strong security and so on, like strong, like we need our military and so on. And when people say stuff like that, like if when younger people say stuff like that, the older people are like, oh, like young people don't know anything, or they don't know war. They have forgotten history and stuff like that. So yeah, that happens here. But yeah. But the problem of the leftists, though, is that they are still active and also very powerful in our society. So they're still in the media and education system. So they are still trying to brainwash our kids. And kids are very pure and genuine, so they get deceived by what they hear. They are always told that war is bad, for example, and they repeat the adults. I learned that war is bad. The world needs to be a peaceful place. Ah, they do that. So bad, so bad. Anyway, does it rain a lot in Japan? Yes, it does, especially in the rainy season. We have a rainy season, and it usually starts in June and lasts until July or so. And then August is good, but then when September comes, it's the typhoon season, so lots of rain and blah. Yeah, lots of disaster. Natural disasters are something that Japanese people have survived from. Like we have lived with the natural disasters, and that's why our technology is advanced, and that's why our country, like people unite together very well. And Japanese people are often praised by people from other countries for our politeness and courtesy, and also like how we line up to a restaurant and so on. Like we have a good manner, and that is, I believe that it's coming from natural disasters, because we have heavy rain and typhoons and earthquakes and flood, and like we have lots of natural disasters, and when we have damages, we have to stick together. So that's where I think that we have learned to live together well. So anyway, man, so loud though. So freaking loud. Rumble, a video sharing platform. Oh yeah, Rumble is quickly becoming the replacement for YouTube for many right learning leaning figures. There are some who get more live views and views on Rumble than YouTube. Oh, that's true. Man, I need to make a account on Rumble. I should do that. Like people, like my viewers have recommended the platform many times before. I had somehow forgotten about it. I'm gonna take a note. I am using my laptop camera today, so I can take a note here on my phone today. That's good. Rumble. Okay. Rumble. Cultural and language differences are big barriers. Yes, online gaming is fun. It's a fun way to meet new people from all over the world. Yes, I wish that I play COD Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, and I'm really good. By the way, I have a gaming channel, Random Yoko Vlog. It used to be a vlog channel, but now I use it for my gaming videos, and I post my playing there. So check it out if you're interested. I shoot my enemies. So, but that server though is only like Japan and a bit of Korea or some Asian countries, and I can't play with English speaking people, so that's a bummer. But yeah, it's really the games are the future, I think, especially for developed countries. Like we have technology, and also we have established our country system already, so we have the room to have fun, right, for entertainment or or gaming and so forth. So I think it's good, like we can do that. Man, this rain is distracting me. It is so loud. Trump reads Epoch Times, the newspaper owned by Falun Gong. They are super hardcore right wing and anti China. Yes, they're popular here as well. Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes when it comes to the our activities against China, we invite Falun Gong group as well to have them speak for the press conference and so on. And they the media comes, the Epoch Times come, and also Falun Gong people, they come to participate in events, protests and so on. So yeah, it's really awful. The Falun Gong is such a influential group in China, and that's why the Chinese Communist Party didn't want any influential group in the country, like more influential than their party. So that's why they are suppressing. But when it comes to like religious people, Falun Gong and also Uyghurs, they uh, obey their rules strictly. So what happens is that their body is well taken care of without alcohol or without a certain food and so on. And so for the Chinese Communist Party is a great resource for organ harvesting. And that's really, really awful. I can't believe that they are doing that. It's such a like it's so like the Communist parties, what they do is very like atrocious and very savage. Like I can't take it. What do Japanese people think? What do Japanese people think traditional Americans are like versus non-traditional Americans? When we think of America, traditional Americans, I believe, like this is just me. I don't know about general idea here, but when I picture like traditional Americans, it's the cowboys, you know, cowboys and shooting and like in the movies, the old movies. What is it called in English? Like, well, just Western cowboy picture, bang bang, Western movies, cowboy movies. Yeah, images like that. And non-traditional Americans would be like the liberal gals in California or New York in high heels, and they're like talkative and very high fashion, stuff like that. I think Japanese BLM is super cringe. There are like 18 blacks in Japan. Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. Yes, I don't see any black people in my neighborhood. Yeah. But in Tokyo, I see some, I think. But I rather see lots of like different type of foreign people, from from other Asian countries. There are lots of like Chinese and Vietnamese and Koreans and people like that. And we don't have many black people here. Did you hear CNN guest attacks Sound of Freedom's creators and supporters for wanting to take down child extremists? I think a lot of young people across the world are becoming more conservative. Yeah. What is the Sound of Freedoms? Sound of... It's a thriller. Hmm. Hmm. I've never seen that movie. I'm not very familiar with the industry, like especially the like involving children. Let me turn on my fan with my foot because I do that. It's getting hot. I have two lights here, so. mm. In Cambodia, they pointed out the only natural disasters that Cambodia faces are floods. Huh? Really? They have like human disasters though. Hun Sen regime, China's puppet. Um, but yeah, I visit India and they have like a skull. Is it skull? Like East Asian or no East no, Southeast Asian and or India skull. Is it squall? It almost sounds like, wait, how do you say this? It's so difficult. Squall and squirrel. I don't know. Like the little animal. Can't see the difference in pronunciation. But anyway, yeah, we have different natural disasters. Mm. You're 27. Oh my gosh, you're young, like a decade younger than me. I started learning more conservative when I realized how philosophical and morally inconsistent the left is. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. I was watching Fox News, and I think that the people that were on the show, uh, said similar things. That they, they like when they actually took the time to think about what they believe in, like they realized that it doesn't make sense. Like that's, I think, the baseline of what they were saying. No, for the 5 minutes. I should go in 15 minutes. I was left leaning before 2020. After 2020, I definitely leaning conservative due to all evil these activists trying to bully people and make them lose their jobs. Yeah. It's like, it's seriously like, when Trump was the president, the world was a better place. And before Trump, it was chaotic, with terrorism and everything. And Obama administration, it weakened the US, so it made things worse. And China was not marked very much. Like today, we all focus on China, right? Like we see the problem, like whether you are on the left side or the right side, right? It's a common understanding. But back when Barack Obama was the president, we didn't see that. And before that, like Bush time, like America was busy with the war. And yeah, like, when like finally Donald Trump, when he took the power in the US, everything just, he organized everything. I feel all the problems that were in the world, including China, North Korea, or Iran in your case. And like, I feel like everything went kind of transparent, or I mean, like the clear, like we it was easy to understand what the problems were thanks to him. And also cooperation with, at least like speaking from Japan, like Japan US alliance became really really good, thanks to Trump administration. Of course, on our side we had the charismatic Shinzo Abe, representing our country. So that's why it was the perfect match, right? And those two leaders had the common problems, being attacked by the left as Hitler. They had a common problem. They were both bullied by the media. And so it, you know put them close. And also they share the same values, when it comes to family, or the issues coming from China and everything. So that was good. That was a good time. And during Trump administration, um, I remember liberals, doing all this crazy activities against Trump. Me Too movement and everything. BLM, and they were very active during Trump administration. But the economy was great, right? And like, I know that they were happy economically, and they kept complaining against Trump. So that, like, I remember, like, I remember saying that, on my live streams, that it didn't make sense, like what they were doing. Like they don't have problems, on a daily basis. Unlike today with the Biden administration, like we don't know. Like it's so like uh it's not strategic ambiguity. It's just we just don't know what the administration is doing. Of course, I'm thankful for Biden administration to a certain degree, that it did carry on Trump administration's policies, the basic ones. But when it comes to China, the newspaper articles that I was reading were pointing out that no, it's was it from Fox News I saw. No, I think it's both. Like here in the information here, and also from the America, like Biden administration kind of went soft against China, and that made things worse. So Western movies, yeah. Western, because cowboys were in the west of the US. Oh, that's what it is. Huh, right. I have to think like which is west. But right, west side. It's on the map, west is the left. Okay. Yoko, do you watch any Japanese shows on Netflix that are good? No. I watch entertainment in English only, American English only. Even though I should probably watch other things as well, right? Like for our, like for not only for entertainment, but to grasp the entire world. I should watch a lot of stuff, but I'm I'm always investing my time in learning, and I it's a habit of me that I only watch American English stuff. So yeah. But when it comes to Japanese, I think I just watch the news on TV. When it comes to Japanese, I think I don't watch, and some a few shows after the news, like animals, so on NHK. Uh, but yeah, I just collect information and that's all. Squalid squirrel. Seriously, I can't read the animal one. Squall. Is it squall? Isn't it weird that I've been studying English for like what 2 decades and I still don't know the basic stuff. Squirrel, 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 squall, and squall. Kind of different with the all sound maybe. Squirrel, squirrel. I don't know. Man, I need an English teacher. The rain wants Yoko's attention real bad. Seriously, man. Oh, super chat. Sorry, I was late to notice. Thank you, Nick. Russia did nothing wrong except the Kuril Islands. What? What do you mean? Russia has been Japan's enemy for such a long time. At least 1900. From 1900. And we were able to win though because of Jewish people too. So that's why when we hear, or at least when I hear, the alt-right type of people in America, bashing Jewish people, I'm like, I get it though, like what they mean, but you know, when it comes to Russia, I don't know what it is. It's in my blood, I think, that I have issues with Russia as a country. Like, of course, there are good Russian people too, but I'm just talking about Russia as a country, and the leadership there. I think it has a lot to do. Like, I have talked about this before many times, but I think that, um, you know, it does have a lot to do with the geography, where the country is located. Usually those who live in the north, they tend to be more cruel and savage in my sense. Of course, when it comes to like eating and so on, like humans can be kind of mean and evil, right? Like we are all kind of vicious, or what's the word, I don't know, like a savage. But when it comes to wars and so on, like the northern parts of the world, people tend to develop technologies and also they're very feisty, they want to fight, and those who are in the south, they are like, meh. I'm kind of being discriminative, I guess, but they're like, the warm weather makes you happy, and I feel like the those who are living in the south are more, you know, in comparison. If you compare, they're more happier, maybe. That's the impression, just my impression that I have. But anyway, yeah, Russian people, it's bad. I was like, especially what they did towards the end of the World War II. Like we had a deal or treaty, with Russia, but they abandoned it and they began invading into Japan. And along the way, they not only killed people but also raped lots of women. I think that Germany and other countries were women were targeted by Soviet Union soldiers as well, because I hear that there was a order to do that and so on. And yeah. Anyway, oh, now finally it's quiet. Yesterday, I heard that a lot of the traditional forms of divination, like building, planting crops where you see certain birds, helps people simply because it is random. Mm? Planting crops. Sorry, I'm lost. Sorry. That doesn't sound right. I'm from Greece and I'm utterly miserable. You're miserable? You're from Greece, man. Isn't it weird that Greece had such an amazing like culture and a mythology and so on, and they were so advanced, but like I think that the industrial revolution in the UK really, really changed the game in the world. Japanese people love all the is it mythology? Is it? Yeah, we really love that. Yoko, please don't skip my last super chat. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. What subject did you study at university? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. Ha 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 ha. It is English. um, yeah, I was English major, and I my university was actually like a foreign language university. What is it called? Well, university for studying a foreign languages. So I majored in English, but some of my friends majored in Spanish. So it's political science. Oh my gosh, thank you. That's such a flatter. I feel flattered. Thank you. Women's studies. Yeah. Yes. I didn't know politics at all in the until like 28 years old or so, like a decade ago. So until then, I was a typical, like a liberal leaning female in Japan who hated her own country and who wanted to become an American because of the brainwashing, from education and the media. Like I was not proud of my country back then because I was so pure, right? Like I just listened to the TV and teachers, and if you do that, you're automatically hating yourself. So yeah, good that I finally woke up. Yeah. I kind of woke up like I was red pilled. Like in your language, it's probably like red pill. Yeah, I finally woke up because China went crazy. They were violently vandalizing their own malls and like shopping places, like stores and malls, and uh, also like a car places, because it's Toyota, whatever, like Japanese brands, but they were doing that inside of China, and that I was like, huh? Like, it didn't make sense to me. Why are you attacking your own places? And then the reason was because Japan, what you call like, you got nationalized, nationalized ours. Was it which one? Was it Senkaku or I forget something about our territories? And yeah, so then like that became like the reason for paying attention to the news. Like I asked my father what's going on. He is conservative. He had many books. I read them, and I started to go to events, and then I learned many things. And yes, Yoko, I will miss Saturday night's evening streams. Sorry, I need to wake up early. I guess like it's I have many like my now my physical state is good, right? Like I stopped bleeding and so on, so that's good. My all sorts of colitis is getting better, so that's good. But in my neighborhood, there's this crazy construction going on, and it shakes our building. Like they go like boom, 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 and then it actually shakes the ground. And we live in a kind of higher floor, so then I guess the building kind of moves, more than like more than it should. And then like every day I'm like, oh, like again, right? On the weekends they don't do the constructions. Like on maybe Saturday they're doing that, but on Sundays, here like Japan time, they don't do that. So like I'm like today I was like, ah, I can finally sleep. And I go to bed late, so then in the morning they start on the construction thing. So then it's loud and it shakes the floor, and I keep waking up. And yeah. Anyway, yeah, I will try my best to go back to my normal time. Sorry, but I'm really happy though that you guys are here. It really helps. The Sound of Freedom is a story based on real life, even exposing child sex rings. What is child? Is a sex ring like you put inside of your body, or and sex trafficking? The main character are trying to free them. It really sad. Oh, I see. Is it about Colombia or something? Like, um, what's happening in the South America? It's so bad. I realized that the more I learn about like politics and what's going on in the world, I realized that the free world is really the minority of the world. Like growing up, I only focused on Japan and also America because I was interested in the US, right? And then of course, like we have lots of influence from Europe as well, and those are the countries that we pay attention to. And I was not looking at other countries that have problems, and so yeah, it's at least that it's good though that there are movies like that. I really admire, those who give light to the problems that people are not aware of. through the northern territories above Hokkaido belongs to Japan. What music are you listening to recently? I really dig J-pop and being a fan of Nogizaka for six. Millet? I don't know. Millet? I don't know that. And Ado-chan. Cool. Yeah. I know the song of Ado, Urusewa, or something like that. Yeah, because I play the mobile game, COD mobile, and that's the game that young people are playing, like teenagers and those who are in the 20s. So that's the majority of the community. And there was a time that they were using like they just like I do on YouTube and Twitter. They sometimes post clips of their killing scene, like shooting scenes, and then they some of them were using Ado's music. And they kept singing too. So- Oh, thank you for your super chat again. Russia is last hope for fixing the West with news. What the hell? What? I can't tell if you're serious or being ironic. I don't know. Yeah. But man, Putin though. I feel like Putin, like just like my first reaction to Prigozhin's rebellion was that it's like it's a matter of initiative, that Putin had everything under control, but then Prigozhin did that, and it's kind of like people, follow Prigozhin instead, to a certain degree, and so it becomes like he gains the power, that it can like Prigozhin can shake Putin if he wanted to. I don't think that he would, but like it's like I don't know, like it's like reflecting the little like reflecting frustrations inside Russia. So I feel like Russia, like just like Soviet Union, like it can collapse, and also when it comes to a big power like Russia or China even, I think that it comes from within, and it's important that we keep pressure from the outside, but simultaneously, like in the end it has to come from within, so I'm waiting for that for Russia, China, and North Korea. Kim regime, it's amazing that I am kind of impressed that Kim Jong Un is actually like his administration is stable. Like I didn't expect that. Hmm. I live in the West, and I'm 99% serious. Wow, that's wild. What time is it there again? It's 1 in the morning. 1 a.m. These hours are nice for Americans midday on a Sunday. That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's I think that it depends on what kind of schedule that people live, Mm. Mm, 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 mm. It'll be useful for you to read the book review. The Secret of Our Success is reviewed by Scott Alexander. The book explains why humans need a calculator to survive. Oh, sorry. I'm lost. Let's see. You also should be worried about ESG and woke investor trying to also ring Japan. Those same investor will push grooming and brainwashing onto children. Uh, like I've kept repeat like I've been repeating myself on this, but I take advantage of all the input the left has, when it comes to, like, let's see, in Japan, for example, people care about human rights now, whether you're on the right side or left side. And that is because of me and my husband. Because the human rights was the term in Japan that is used only by the left, because that's their business, when they claim human rights, human rights, human rights, and they get votes, they get money, they get like financial aid from the government and so on. Like that used to be their business. But today, I especially my husband began working with all those people that are oppressed by China, Tibetans, Uyghurs, Southern Mongolians, Hong Kongers, Taiwanese, Cambodians, Vietnamese. We began talking to them, and then we, of course, we are conservatives, and our standpoint is coming from our national security perspective. But it doesn't matter where we are coming from, and we realize that when it comes to human rights and environment, China, our biggest enemy, is the worst in the world. Human rights oppression or violation and environment destruction, that is what China is best at in the world. The best of the best. So we flipped the perspective. Usually human rights or environment and so forth, that is used against Japan or the US or Europe, to against developed countries. But we can always flip that to China. So for us, at least, it works. And that's what we have been doing. Oh my god, you're alive! Wow! Super late today. Yeah. Half a day late. I never catch you alive. I'll catch you alive. Good that you called me alive. Thanks for coming. Yes. ESG is starting to collapse in America. The companies are running out of money from the ESG driven decisions they've made, and the ESG investment money is no longer enough to cover the lost customers. Yeah, that will happen too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, in business, like, business people don't usually go political, because like it doesn't matter which side you're on. Yeah, you do lose customers, and you don't want to do that. But recently, though, I think, like, especially after Trump administration, I think that the social media platforms and also companies, like, they, especially, it's all coming from the US, though. It's always America for some reason. Americans Americans love to fight each other. Like, Americans love to be divided. I don't know what the problem is, seriously. For example, in Japan, it's like 80% support death penalty. The entire Japan. 80% or more, maybe. All right. Or 90% dislike China. All right. We're so united, right? But Americans, oh, like, I must state our own opinion or whatever, like that. And like, Americans are divided always. Like, all the topics, against control, gun control, birth control, whatever control in America. It's like controlling side, and then those who are against control. And today, all this like involvement and society, government stuff. Yeah, it's like, I'm like, can you forget about politics for a while? Ah, it's so crazy that politics is there to solve our problems, and come up with a good policies that we should follow, so that we can have a happy life, right? happy, prosper life. And with the discussions and debates we have, though, we are making ourselves miserable. So silly. Mm. Oh, yawn. Mm-mm-mm. Yes. Americans was a country born from fighting the like Kling owns in real life. Just related. Right, like those who want to fight and those who don't want to fight. Right. That's so true. Yeah. At least though, like what I admire about Americans when it comes to like all the divisions and so on, regardless, is that American people are very self-aware, of politics and where they stand in the society. They think about the country and the society very, very, very much. But Japanese people, for example, it's good that we have a happy, somewhat happy, even though there are some depressed people that kill themselves. But the majority, though, we are very happy, and there are lots of entertainment here in Japan. It's easy to have fun every day, and that's good. But because of that, because our country is, like on a daily basis, we feel safe and also like very fun, happy, and so on. Because of that, because we are fulfilled, we don't think about our society or our country or even our history. So that's a big, big problem, because by that we are making problems, for the future, because we are so unaware that we are not fixing all the things that we should be fixing right now. And it's interesting that people outside of Japan are more concerned about Japan than Japanese people, talking about uh, our economy and population and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's interesting. But I love the input of Tony Robbins, though. He says that, well, I don't exactly remember what he said. Let me roll. Oh, it began raining again. I'm on Instagram too, by the way. I need to post more pictures because I have some pictures to post. Or is there. Did I delete that? I think I deleted it. But like Anthony Robbins was talking about how like weak people make the hard times, and the hard times make like strong, like smart people, and smart, and the oh yeah, and then thus like there are good times, and the good times create like weak people or stuff like that, and that's the cycle. So yeah. Anyway, began raining again, or it started again. It's too hard to pick the right word. Start and begin. I get confused. Japanese entertainment is awesome. I love Japanese motorsports like drifting. Also Japanese video games are the best. Yeah, I agree. I wish I could afford to play like real games though. Like, but first I need a computer. Like I have PS4, but I think the generation is now PS5. And also, there are lots of good PC games, but I don't have a PC. So my goal, like one day I want to have a big gaming computer, and also like I want to be able to buy games, and play. and I can be a critic, I think a lot. I'm a Virgo. I analyze things so much. So I give opinions to everything. My husband and I, by the way, we spend the time together like 24/7 together. And we are mostly, unless either of us are watching TV or reading the news or book or whatever, like unless we're doing that sort of things, we talk to each other all day long, and we give each other our perspectives. We're so loud, we keep talking all day long. But anyway, it's been an hour and 20 minutes, so I should go get Switch instead. All the best games are on Switch. Really? Switch is currently the third best selling game system of all time, both globally and in Japan. Really? Gosh. But that's true though. Like little kids nowadays have Switch. Mm, I guess adults too. Mm. So PS4 used money to buy Switch. But this PS4, by the way, was given to me by my viewer, like a Japanese viewer, who is now too old to play of Duty, like the real version, not the mobile one, but on PS4. And then, so he sent it to me, and so it's a gift. So I don't know if I want to sell. But yeah, stay forever. Ha ha ha. Gotta go, man. Conscious is organic. Yeah, that sounds like a good marriage. Oh yes, yes. Because it's so like my husband and I, we're so like natural together. Like it's so natural to be together. Like I feel like he's my twin or something. Like he's like my family, like a brother, kind of. But at the same time, of course, he is my husband, and then there's a sexual things too combined. And at the same time, he's my political mentor, and I just admire him. Like I'm I think the great thing about our marriage is that I'm very interested in, like, I'm so curious of what my husband thinks. Like that's the foundation. I'm curious. Like I always want to know what my husband thinks, because he thinks on the same page but differently. He always has this really smart, unique, sophisticated perspective. And I want to know, like, I love the aha moments, because it's really like there are chemical reactions in your head, when you have aha moments. And I'm like, aha. Like every day I'm like, aha. And I love that. So yeah, and my husband likes to talk and he likes to teach, and so that's a great match. Yeah, and also I speak English, obviously. Like I'm trying though, at least. And then that really is helpful for my husband's activity, like politically. Like I help him. I do the translation for him, right? Today and yesterday, like this week, I think it's the past 3 days, I've been working on translating this interview for him. That we interviewed this amazing leader of somewhere. I'll publicize later, but we had a very interesting conversation, and so it's really historically it's important too. I think so. Like I did my best to translate, and so yeah, it's really good. And then we love the same foods, so that's good. And yeah, he's very cooperative too in our housework. Like he does a lot for me because he's so controlling. But anyway, I'm rambling. Um, Strong men create soft times, soft men create hard times create strong men. Yes, that's it. Yes, 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 yes. It's so, I think this is so important. Yeah, like we are in this cycle, like this just happens. But and we are like we are in the, we're the soft people that that are creating hard times. But so very soon I think that we will be all, become tough and smart to survive. Mm. Are you ever going to have a stream about Japanese history between the 16th and the 19th centuries? Going to have Japanese history? I don't know. If my husband is interested in giving a lecture, I will be there to translate. I am not very familiar with our history actually. When it comes to politics, of course, like I do consider history, but I'm not an expert on that. So, but my husband is very, very good. So, we could have a stream. Like I want to have my husband, on these streams, because my husband says that it should be me though, like alone, so that people feel more like easier to talk to me. He says that, but I'm like, I want to give information and perspectives from Japan, and my husband is my brain and my mentor politically. So I really feel like I should just invite him on the stream. Oh, Yoko, Ohio, Ohio. It's 1:30 a.m. here, so Ohio matches. Hi. Oh, it started to rain, and I hear thunders. I don't mind this time. I had a hard time going to your stream because your streaming happened when I followed. Is this better? If this is better, it's easier for me. Hmm. I am genuinely curious how a relatively new nation like Japan managed to culturally surpass China with a couple of centuries without any head start of colonial influence. Japan has the history of over 2,600 years, like officially, and so we're just advanced. We've experienced many things. And there's the competition with China, which came in first, blah blah blah. But yeah, China back in the day was really good though. Like like they were more advanced. But Japan was I don't know, man. I think what's different with Japan and China is that we are the sea power and China is land power, and land power has this limitations of their resources and also their character, like people's personality and so on land power is different from those who live in sea power, because we don't have to worry about our resources, and also because we are surrounded by the oceans, we don't have to worry too much about our neighboring countries, right? Like it's way different from land power, like when there's the another country right next to your country that influences you. But Japan is different in the way, so we have the room to, I guess, enjoy our lives to, and also to make it better. And of course there were wars, with each other, but we had lots of conditions, I think, to develop our technology and so on. And Japanese people in general, we like to look at things in details. For example, when the guns came to Japan for the first time, they bought it and they dissolved everything to speculate, and they studied how it's wired and so on, and they created, our people back in the day, they recreated that by themselves. So people do that. Even when Perry came to Japan with a cannon, the American ship was huge, like they basically came to Japan with a military threatening, Like knock knock knock, Japan, open the country, right? And so then our people were very astonished by the huge vessel. But then our people, like a few of our people, went on the ship and measured everything like on foot and so on, and also look at everything, and they recreated the ship. So like we have that, like very, like I think the very hardworking, and also with the Meiji era, what you call restoration. Our people went to Europe to learn. So like very, I think the Japanese people are very curious and very international actually. Many people could, back in the day, like Edo era, they were speaking Dutch language because Holland was the country that we had trades with and so on. And so those, back in the day, it was not English, it was Dutch language. And then later on it was English, and I don't know how they studied it, but some of our amazing heroes, they spoke English. And so they got information, they got all this technology and so on. Oh, Subaja, thank you so much. Hey, Yoko, I was thinking about taking karate because there are a bunch of Japanese speakers in the dojo. Oh, true. I already practice judo, but I don't want to be too much of a weeb. I think the kanji is cool. Why? You should go if you can. That's a good reason to take karate. Yeah, by the way, it's like American people pronounce it like karate, but it's karate. 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 Americans like to say everything that ends with e of Japanese language, like as e, saki, karaoke, karate. I'm like sake, karaoke, karate, right? It's like, well, it's all te. Right? But anyway, that's cool. That's cool. I used to do kendo, by the way. I miss it so much. If I do kendo now, I feel like all the problems will go away because it will be so like stress relieving. Like you say and then hit the people. So good. Which battleship class is better to you, Yoko? Yamato class or Iowa class? I'm not familiar, but I love Yamato. Was it the letters to Iwo Jima, the movie? The Yamato was depicted very, very well, like good, very good. I was so surprised to see that. Movies nowadays. Holland. Holland. Right. Karate is good, especially for self-defense. I am interested in Aikido. Do you know Aikido? Because Aikido, you use the force coming from your opponent, and you don't really have to like go all full in. You just use like the it's like physics basically. I've never learned that. I'm interested, but I don't think I ever will because I'm too like, I know that I should be more open to challenges, but I feel like it's so hard to learn completely different things at this age, even though I'm still generally like or young. Mm, yeah. Oh, I should go. I should say Japan good at observing and improving design of things. Best-selling motorcycle in the world, Honda Super Cup, and best-selling car in the world, Calora, or both Japanese. That's so true. Yes, it's not that when it comes to Japan, like of course we do have like good inventions, but it's not like our own inventions. It's like we are good at improving, like you say. あ、うん。それを話してたよ、今。うん。うんうん、話した。My husband is like worried. Did you talk about that $10 budget? I just did. I thought he was sleeping, but anyway. Yeah, we are good at improving things instead of like creating our own. Even though like Japanese culture is very unique and like you get the impression that Japanese people think of themselves everything by themselves, but it's not like that. Like we are good at improving things, and also nowadays because our country, especially our government, doesn't invest in our technology as much as they should. Our what we are good at has become um making things smaller now. Yeah, so it's everything about making things smaller. It's historically it's what we are good at, like bonsai and everything. Like we like tiny things, and we can actually create tiny things. And so yeah, Kindle would be fun, but there's no place that teaches where all of yeah. Yamato big, yes, big. And the police officers use Aikido to apprehend people. Oh, cool. Oh, I overslept and just found you alive. Cool. I was like, I'm gonna go, and I was dragging. So good that I was dragging, so that you could come say hi. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna go though. I should go. I'm gonna go. Okay. Yeah, Japan adopting NATO standards. Yes, just like Germany. Even though we don't belong to NATO, I saw the news that Germany too is raising their standards to not NATO, so that's good. And for Japan, there's an office opening soon. It said of NATO or NATO office. Okay, I'll be back in a week. I don't know which time I should do though. Uh, yeah, I should get back to waking up early. Thanks for streaming, Yoko. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming. Oh, you're leaving. Yes. Goodbye. Oh, yes, I am leaving rapidly. All of a sudden. Ohio from Ohio. Thank you so much for coming, guys, even though that time was different and so on. But I really appreciate every single one of you to come here. Thank you so much, and especially for those who give me super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll come back next week. Yes. Yes. I should be able to come. I don't know what time though, but please bear with me. And also just keep in touch. Okay, on Twitter and elsewhere. This time works for Americans, midday on weekends for us. That's good. Yeah, I will consider this. Like, this is definitely something I can do. So, stay. Gotta go. Okay, I'm gonna play Call of Duty Mobile a little bit and then go to sleep. Okay, thank you guys so much. I'll see you in a week. Okay, please take care and have a good day or good night or good morning wherever you are.